What's up guys, it's Oakley, and today we're going to be taking a quick view at the Skaven roster. This is going to be captured from footage from one of the quest battles, so it's not the entire roster, but it's a pretty good cross-section of the units that you can expect. So CA has put a limit on how much screen time we can put up as of this NDA. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is just showing you the kind of individual unit models as an image in the background, plus the extracted unit cards. So we're just going to be able to discuss the various units. So the first one, the lowest level, is going to be the gutter runners. So these guys have an interesting one, which is the snare net that allows you to slow down the enemy. They can stalk, which obviously keeps you hidden, and then they can vanguard deploy. So these are very light troops, and they come with an additional version, which is a slinger armed with poison shells. So these guys are pretty cool. And they also have the dodge ability that has allows them to neglect kind of a certain amount of incoming fire. So these are very useful. They're going to be used to obviously deploy early on to ping at your enemy, perhaps even keep them hidden until later in the battlefield to move them around to the back of artillery pieces. Then next level up is going to be the Storm Vermin. There are clan rats in the game, but I don't have the, I wasn't able to capture their info. But yeah, clan rats are going to be kind of your standard fodder troops, and then the Storm Vermin here at one level up have anti-large, charged defense against large forces, armor piercing, and armored, so pretty sturdy troops. Plague Monks here are going to be your anti-infantry damage dealers, dual sword infantry, and always for all of these, keep an eye on the aesthetics of them. They look freaking awesome. And one of the things I wasn't able to show you here because we have a limit on how much footage we can upload, but in these still frames, what you're not getting is the animations on each of these rats. They were kind of like jittery, their teeth were clacking, very rat-like, so I have to give it CA props to that. There's another monk version, which is going to be the Censor Bear Flail Infantry. So these guys have even more area of effect damage, and they do magical and I believe armor sundering melee attack. So it's kind of cool. The various Skaven forces here have a lot of debuffs that you can stack and use appropriately. Poison Wind Globadiers has relatively small and short range, so range of 75, but when they do damage, because it's a gas, it can go right through armor. And apparently their missile damage has a bonus versus large, so that's an interesting thing to see. Previously, missile damage with bonus versus large was only going to be for Norska with those javelin troops, but yeah, cool to see it on the Poison Wind Globadiers. Next, you can see the Rat Ogres. Again, these guys, the unit models look great. Super powerful forces that are going to help kind of buff up your main line, and they can help kind of tie down charging enemy forces. I know in my gameplay I was using them a lot to tie down heroes, chariots, and things that might otherwise damage my fleshy rats. So they're good counters, and they're pretty agile and fast. Plague Claw Catapult here has decent range. It does magical damage, and the missile damage actually does contaminated, which is a -10 leadership, and actually the that emblem there for contaminated applied to another unit. I called it armor sundering before. It's actually contamination. Next is going to be the Doom Wheel. So this guy moves pretty fast, anti-infantry. I did show in another video that it does a really good job of tearing through infantry, but the second it hits anything with basically that can hold firm, like Temple Guard or larger units, it really comes to a standstill. So you got to be very careful with how you commit it. Then the Helpit Abomination. This thing is just absolutely fantastic. Lots of health, armor piercing, huge weapon strength with bonus versus large. You can stick it into combat and it will tear things up. It has really good regen as well, causes terror, and then too horrible to die trait actually allows it to, when it gets to 0 health, either spawn a new like Storm Vermin unit out of its belly, or it'll come back to life with a certain amount of health. So cool. And then here I'm showing some screenshots of what it looks like from the back and from various angles. This thing is the coolest one. And then we were able to see 2 of the different legendary lords, or heroes at least in this battle. So first is going to be Lord Skrulk. So he has a ton of magical abilities that you can pop here. Several of them that allows you to raise Storm Vermin or various other units like that on the battlefield. And then you have various breath spells, vortex spells, debuffs, and buffs that can help you out. And Zap Spark, the Experimenter, was actually, I was a big fan of him, not only because of his abilities on the bottom right, but on the bottom left, that missile attack that you get 2 charges of it, and it does kind of, it shoots up in the air, explodes, and does fragmented damage. So that was very cool. And then his other abilities here, the Doom Rocket, Death Frenzy, lots of important stuff, and the Warp Lightning is going to be an important one that you definitely want to be popping on infantry blobs. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the overview. Definitely go ahead and pause a lot of this at your leisure. I can't do that because, as I said, we have a limit on the time. But that's it for the Skaven roster, and stay tuned for more. See you in the next one. Peace out.